Anybody who is corrupt and who is found to have been corrupt will be brought to justice. And we are determined to ensure that that is done.
President takes fight against corruption to Lagos. 17-point communique presented from National Security Summit.
We cannot allow few lawless drivers who are endangering the lives of other road users to maim or kill the innocent drivers.
And Operation Cobra to tackle traffic offences and assault on Federal Road Safety Corps officials launched in Abuja. Hello and thank you for joining us for NTA Network News. I am Elizabeth Banu. And Jennifer is also on the news at the Lagos Network Center. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello, Elizabeth. Good evening and a warm welcome to the news.
Zainab is presenting from Sokoto, the seat of the Caliphate. Good evening, Zainab.
Good evening, Elizabeth, and this is the seat of the Caliphate.
Now, tackling the challenge of tax evasion has remained a major concern of successive administrations in Nigeria, particularly as revenue from oil continues to be threatened owing to the volatility in the global oil market. In this report, Vivian Idekpefo tells us of the latest efforts by government to ensure tax compliance as it intensifies efforts at expanding the tax net.
With a tax-to-GDP ratio of 6%, Nigeria is ranked as one of the lowest in the world. Even by African average, which is 18%, Nigeria falls short in this regard. Available records show that only 14.5 million Nigerians pay tax. Of that number, 95% are the pay-as-you-earn deducted from workers' salaries.
Tax, they have to look at it in a way that is not going to be double taxation.
Tax evasion, especially by the rich and multinational companies operating in the country who seem to consider paying tax as optional, is said to contribute to the low tax in Nigeria. The Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme, launched by the acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, is therefore aimed at increasing tax awareness and compliance. The scheme, which grants immunity to defaulters from prosecution for 9 months to regularize their status, also has stringent penalties at the expiration of the March 31st, 2018 deadline.
This program, in my opinion, is helpful in bringing some level of compliance.
Nigeria has entered into multinational agreements with many countries of the world to exchange banking information on citizens that is relevant for tax purposes. In Abuja, Vivian Idekpefo, NTA News.
Now, joining me to talk about taxation in Nigeria from our Lagos Network Center is Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Tunde Fowler. Mr. Fowler, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, if you can hear me now, what is the rationale behind the program and in view of the tax holiday offered as incentives to investors?
It's a time when everyone who has not been paying taxes has an opportunity to come out, declare freely the income they make, and start to pay their taxes without paying any penalty and without any interest. Now, the objective of this is to ensure that government, both at the federal and state levels, have enough resources and revenue to run their budgets, thereby ensuring that we have a higher standard of living for all Nigerians, and also to make sure that we have what is required for a conducive business environment, and also a better standard of living.
Now, as we heard in the report, Nigeria is ranked as one of the lowest in the world, and with only about 14.5 million Nigerians paying tax. What is the tax profile at the moment in Nigeria?
look at the profile, we believe we have an estimated 70 million adult Nigerians who are earning an income, who should be paying taxes, at least to the state governments. We also have corporations that are not yet in the tax net, who are operating within Nigeria. We also have Nigerians who own properties abroad, where they generate rents and other streams of income, and they should actually report this and pay taxes on that income.
Now, talking about the multinational companies and the rich evading tax, how do you think that this voluntary asset and income declaration scheme launched by Acting President Yemi Osinbajo will increase the tax awareness and compliance?
There's a team of young people who are also going to go around to educate Nigerians on what they should do, how they should go about filling their forms. And also, we believe that with this launch of this scheme, a lot of people have heard about it already. So it's just now time for them to put their records together. It's a very simple exercise. Everyone generally knows how much income they earn, whether they earn it internally within Nigeria or externally, and then just approach a tax office at the state level or the Federal Inland Revenue Service, and they will show them exactly how to compute the taxes that should be paid.
Well, I understand there's going to be stringent penalties, including jail terms, you know, and forfeiture of assets at the end of the deadline, which is 31st March. How sustainable do you think that's going to be?
Very sustainable. I mean, it's a law. So basically, if you run foul of that law, the penalties will still exist. And so it's a very simple and very straightforward steps that the federal government has taken in line with the state governments. And in fact, the whole nation has taken that approach that everyone who earns an income or makes profit from this country should pay their taxes.
Mr. Tunde Fowler, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on NTA Network News. Now, moving on, despite new losses, the federal government says it will not pull back in the investigation and prosecution of corruption, urging Nigerians to close down the space on perpetrators of corrupt practices. The acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, was speaking in Lagos at the annual Christopher Kolade lecture on business integrity, and Jide Onifadi reports.
Prevention is better than cure, even in corruption, and acting president Yemi Osinbajo could not agree less with the organizers of the lecture. As he explains, the experience in the last 2 years of the Buhari administration, which has as its core agenda the determination to end corruption in the country, shows the fight won't be an easy one.
At the end of the day, you know, the Nigerian people are not fooled, they are not deceived by it, and they expect that ultimately anybody who is corrupt and who is found to have been corrupt will be brought to justice. And we are determined to ensure that that is done and that the Nigerian people get their day, as it were, in court. Let me also, in closing, state that prevention of corruption is a multifaceted activity. It requires a close cooperation of public and private sectors, law enforcement, civil society, and everyone.
Government, the acting president says, has a team of courageous personality, especially in the anti-graft agencies, whose focus is on investigation and prosecution of cases and who are performing well. The Supreme Court, he says, is also doing well to abolish delay in justice administration. These also include a number of policies put in place by government as deterrent to corrupt practices.
Thieves exist in every tribe and tongue and in every religion. Let's not encourage those accused of corruption to distract attention by some conspiracy theory or other.
5 universities were given recognition for putting in place effective mechanism to check malpractices on their campuses.
Public sector managers must also ensure due diligence in the application of taxpayers' money.
If we identify people who are practicing corruption in this country, the only way, the only cure that will work is that we all show them that they are not the brand for Nigeria that we want, that we will not celebrate them.
Convention on Business Integrity, co-founded by the acting president in October 1997, was established to promote ethical business practices, transparency and fair competition in the private sector. In Lagos, Jide Onifade, NT News.
The Nigerian economy can do more with improved energy to drive industrialization and production. The Economic Commission for Africa, ECA, in its 2016 country profile of Nigeria for the year 2016, pointed out the need to reserve 2 decades worth of decency. I beg your pardon. 2 decades worth of deficiency in electricity generation, transmission and distribution. Leah Katumba Batunde reports.
Europe fell into a recession midway into 2016, raising worries not only in Nigeria but the ECOWAS sub-region as a whole. For the Economic Commission for Africa, when Nigeria sneezes, ECOWAS shivers. The 2016 country profile is with the title Addressing Power Crisis for Structural Transformation in Nigeria, and experts say this topic could not have come at a better time as Nigeria seeks to completely diversify the economy.
Let's notice that Nigeria is performing somehow in the middle, 9th out of 15 in ECOWAS.
How is this economy we talked about, the biggest economy in Africa, how is it distributed to its subnational economies?
In the period under review, the economy was characterized by a decline in revenue, high recurrent expenditure, increased participation in agriculture, weak primary education enrollment, and disparity in access to health services, among other social indices. However, the ECA says Nigeria has huge potentials for improved electricity.
Talking about around 94,000 megawatts of potential, of which mainly 68% is from hydro, and then around 21% can come from nuclear, and then you have solar and other ones. This is untapped.
For policymakers in Nigeria, social welfare initiatives and agricultural support have provided the needed leverage to uplift the economy.
50% of the budget, capital budget for this year is devoted into the power sector. We are aware that a lot still needs to be done.
The report recommended that Nigeria should reinforce its efforts to establish a market-oriented policy aimed at promoting a secure, competitive and reasonable priced energy supply and policies that enhance reliability and sustainability of power system whilst encouraging equipment and technology acquisition. In Abuja, I'm Lekating Babatunde.
Now, as Nigeria is listed amongst world's exporters of tubers of yam, agriculture correspondent Musa Baba Aliu takes a look at the national production of the commodity and the socio-economic implications to the nation.
Yam of various species is the 5th most widely harvested crop in Nigeria and cultivated in all the geopolitical zones of the country. As it is today, Nigeria remains the world's largest producer of the produce, accounting for over 70% of the world production. It is estimated that Nigerian farmers are producing over 70 million metric tons with the value equivalent of over $10 billion annually. In spite of this, however, Nigeria is lagging behind in the export of yam, while other African countries like Cote d'Ivoire, cultivating 12 million tons, and Ghana, with close to 10 million tons, are the major exporters of yam.
We should look at this export of yams not as a problem, but as an economic opportunity. And we will have to export whatever is needed from Nigeria by other countries so we can earn more foreign exchange.
On the insinuation that the export of yams will affect the national supply, officials of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture say yam is being cultivated all year round, therefore no need for panic.
Government research institutions like Umudike Root Crop Research Institution should also, begin to research further on what yam can be used for, and then better varieties that can give us increased yield.
Efforts are underway to train farmers on the quality and standard in production, harvesting, storage and packaging before export. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And joining me in the studio is Mr. Aziz Muiwa, Director, Agribusiness in the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. Mr. Muiwa, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Zena.
Elizabeth. Now, as we heard Musa Baba Aliyu, yam is the 5th widely harvested crop in Nigeria. Why are we lagging behind in the export of the commodity, despite the fact that Nigeria is about the world's major producer?
But that's the big question which we are trying to answer. We're in line with economic recovery and good plan of Mr. President and of the current administration. As you are very much aware, number 1 is stabilizing the macroeconomic environment, while number 2 is agricultural and food security. To be able to do this and achieve economic diversification, the current administration has designed the green alternative. And to achieve this, we are now trying to facilitate the private sector to export the yam. As you are very much aware, Nigeria is the largest producer, accounting for over 70% of the production. Apart from this, the current market, global market for rice, stood at $13.7 billion US. To do this, we are now supporting the farmers, we are supporting the exporters, we are trying to grow the economy, and we are improving the foreign exchange earning by promoting the exportation. Currently, we are facilitating the exportation of about 74 million, 74 metric tons outside the country, 74 metric tons outside the country.
Now, apart from Europe and America, which other countries have shown interest in Nigerian?
We have the UK, we have the Canada, we have other countries in the Europes. They've shown interest to offtake our yams, and we are currently encouraging the youth, and we are facilitating them to export these crops.
But by the way, I know that there was some time back I heard about an arrangement with China to, export dry yam. What is the situation today?
Yeah, we are working on it, but what they want is the dry yam. Because of the water content, they want a situation whereby what we get to them is not only dry yam but dry cassava. But we are currently working on it to be able to supply what China needs in terms of dry cassava and dry yam.
Benue State sells about 10 million tubers of yam weekly. Are you working closely with that state? Because I know that there are other areas, other states that, let me give an example. Maybe Borno State, I'm not sure, they have,
like
what are you doing to, up their production?
We are supporting them with improved planting materials. And let me first of all say that Benue State is referred to as the food basket of Nigeria. And for your information, my minister comes from Benue State. We are working very, very closely with them. And like you may want to note that during the launching of the yam exportation in Lagos, Benue State sent delegate at the highest level. The deputy governor was there. We're supporting them, we're working with them. In fact, the first cold storage warehouse is being established in Benue State. Nigeria Export Promotion Council is also supporting this at Sakim Biam. We're not working with only Benue State. We are working with all yam producing states in the country.
Okay, and how many tons is Nigeria expected to export?
Currently, the one we have shipped is 74 metric tons. But we developed a program to be able to take in the next 5 years, whereby we will actually take over from Ghana. Let me say, Ghana can beat Nigeria in football. Well, we will never take that of yam. We are taking the market from
Okay,
Ghana.
Finally, what measures have you put in place to avoid rejection?
Yeah, thank you very much. All the regulatory agencies are working together. The Nigerian Standard Organization, the quarantine services, and all the other, the NAFDAC. We are also ensuring that all the exporters and the off-takers that are taking our yam to United States of America and Europe, they are certified by the National Food and Drug Administration and the Food and Drug Administration of the United States of America. Quarantine is also issue sanitary and phytosanitary certificate to them promptly. And in fact, the Honorable Minister has directed that this should be at small cost, at the lower cost.
Mr. Aziz Muyiwa, thank you very much for coming to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, the target by the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company to provide 120,000 prepaid meters for the customers every year will soon be met, as the company has signed a memorandum of understanding with Mojek Engineering for the purchase of 60,000 meters. Mia Ogidi witnessed the signing of the pact and now reports.
Estimated billing has brought so much mistrust between the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, AEDC, and the customer. For the customer, he is paying for services not rendered, while the AEDC claims losses of over 50% to estimated billing. But this blame game may soon be over, as the AEDC is to provide 120,000 meters every year to meter all our customers in the next 5 years. For this year, it is a promise kept, as 30,000 meters have been purchased and fixed. Today, another deal to provide 60,000 is signed, bringing the total to 90,000 this year. The management of the company is optimistic that in the next 1 week, additional 30,000 will be provided, bringing the total to 120,000 prepaid meters, as promised.
I'm also appealing to the customers who are not yet metered that they should also do their best, if the bill is not undisputed, to make their payments, because it's from these increasing payments that they'll feed into an accelerated metering program.
We continue to produce for them, and we have the capacity of producing up to 1.1 million a year.
Commendable strides indeed, but are the meters going to be given and installed free of charge or through purchase by the customers?
The meters we're installing are free of charge. There should not be any person in the name of the company trying to solicit payment at site for whatever payment. This is strictly forbidden.
The AEDC is really pained by the alarming rate of energy theft and vandalism of facilities by unpatriotic customers and men of the underworld, and appealed for restraint to serve them better, as the financial chart of the company is moving downwards due to these unpatriotic activities. Mie Ogidi, NT News.
Nigerian Stock Exchange closes first half of the year trading with a record gain of approximately 1.9 trillion naira. Also, the nation's first diaspora bond begins trading on London Stock Exchange. These and more on our business news with Ademola.
Hello and welcome to Business News segment. I am Ademola Adeoye. The Nigerian Stock Exchange closed half of the year trading on a positive note with a record gain of approximately 1.9 trillion naira. Market capitalization finished at 11.452 trillion naira with an all-share index of 33,177.48 as against the 9.158 trillion naira market capitalization at the resumption of 2017 market trading. Stakeholders say the rally is in connection with the relative stability in the forex window.
If you look at 365 days T-bills, it's often about 18.5%, and if you take this discount factor of the interest, maybe giving you an effective yield of between 20 and 22%. the index as we speak has outperformed, that part of the market now. And from what we have been seeing from the first quarter, we are expecting some of them, a whole lot of them, to turn out very good results. This, is expected to further boost the index.
Nigeria records another milestone in the international capital market as it lists its first diaspora bond on London Stock Exchange. The opening of this bond will provide opportunity for a wide range of investors, especially Nigerians in the diaspora, to contribute to the development of the country. The Nigerian naira appreciated. It is now 366 naira to the dollar. Barely 24 hours, the Central Bank of Nigeria injected $195 million into the foreign exchange market. Time to check out trading activities on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
At the close of Friday's equities, volume of shares traded stood at 345.860 million shares, valued at 3.348 billion naira, which swapped hands at 4,797 deals. Market capitalization finished at 11.452 trillion, while the all-share index closed at 83,117.48 points. Total led the gainer stable with 7 naira 9 kobo to close at 272 naira 1 kobo per share. Closely followed by MB with 2 naira 28 kobo gain to close at 158 naira 72 kobo. Nestle with 9 naira loss led the loser stable, followed by 7up, which depreciated by 4 naira 55 kobo to close at 91 naira per share.
And Stock Market Report concludes business news segment. Thanks for watching. The news continues shortly. Stay with us.
Thank you, Ademola. This is NTA Network News, and you can actually watch the news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. 18 registered voters from Kogi West Senatorial District go to court to stop recall process of Senator Dino Melaye, and more political stories after the break.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
Hey people, my name is Ricardo Banks, and people always ask me what it's like to have made it, and I always tell them, I'll let you know when I get there.
If you want something worth saying, you have to put yourself out there. Pay homage to those that went before. Give back to the world around. Or sometimes just give to the person next to you. Take every opportunity that comes your way, because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
In this 24/7 upload, download, share it, like it, tweet it, post it world, your life can change in a second. But the question is, are you ready for it?
These data plans are available to all new customers and existing customers who renew their plans. Dial *777#. The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah,
not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
The Future Assured project of the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, is carrying out free medical screening and distribution of food items at various IDP camps while ensuring the economic empowerment of women through training and skill acquisition. In recognition of her efforts, wives of governors have lent their voices and support.
In Kogi State, we feel the impact of Future Assured, especially in women and children.
The Future Assured program of Mrs. Aisha Muhammad Buhari, the wife of the president, has been very assuring and still reassuring in Sokoto State. It has impacted positively in the areas of humanity, especially women and children.
Supports the Future Assured initiative. Email programs@futureassured.org.ng. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Chukwu Yusuf Buratai, on behalf of officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army, announces to the general public NASL 2017 theme, sustaining the successes of the Nigerian Army in tackling contemporary and emerging security challenges. Friday, 30th June 2017, Chief of Army Staff press briefing by 11 a.m. at Army Headquarters Conference Room and Jumat prayers across all military formations by 1 p.m. Saturday, 1st July to Wednesday, 5th July 2017, environmental sanitation and medical outreach across all military formations. Sunday, 2nd July 2017, interdenominational church service across all military formations. Time, 10 a.m. Monday, 3rd July, photo and art exhibition at Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. Thursday, 6th July, seminar presentation and Chief of Army Staff Commendation Award ceremony at Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja. Time, 9 a.m. Nigerian Army, formidable against security challenges and pride of the nation.
Major General Nuhu Ambazo, Chief of Civil Military Affairs.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. A group of registered voters representing Kogi West Senatorial District of Kogi State have filed an action before the Federal High Court Abuja seeking to stop recall process of Senator Dino Melaye. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
In a motion ex parte brought by 18 registered voters of Kogi West Senatorial District of Kogi State, the Federal High Court Abuja is being prayed to stop the recall process, which was forwarded to INEC by another group of registered voters of Kogi West. The grounds on which the case is being filed, according to the plaintiffs, is that some of the purported signatures are forged. The group also told the court that the respondents fraudulently and maliciously forged and opened a recall register and signed on behalf of both fake and bona fide voters of Kogi West Senatorial District.
That at no point was signature taking process conducted by anybody in Kogi West.
The group is therefore asking the court to order INEC to stop the process until the determination of the substantive matter. The case is yet to be assigned. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
The second national convention of the United Progressive Party, UPP, has ended in Awka, strategizing towards the November Anambra governorship election and the general elections in 2019. The party's national chairman, Chief Chekwas Okorie, who presided over the convention, called on Nigerians to join the party for national development.
The convention was held to ratify the party's amended manifesto, which focuses on restructuring of the country based on true federalism, devolution of power, and self-determination of the ethnic nationalities. National chairman of the party and its former presidential candidate, Chief Chekwas Okorie, declared that the party is on a rescue mission by ensuring good governance, restoring the dignity of its citizens. The National Secretary, Alhaji Sadiq Masala, in his address, noted that the party, which was registered in 2012, has recorded giant strides with its fielding of candidates in both the governorship and presidential elections. 7 aspirants for the Anambra State governorship election scheduled for November 18, among whom is a former Minister of Aviation, Chief Osita Chidoka, were officially presented before delegates at the non-election convention in Awka. Joy Iluebu, NTA News.
And the All Progressives Congress, APC, says it remains committed to preserving the unity and peaceful coexistence of Nigeria, expressing confidence in the full recovery of President Muhammadu Buhari to deliver good governance to Nigerians as promised. This was part of the communique at the end of a joint meeting between the Progressives Governors Forum and National Executive Committee of the party. Political correspondent Abdullah Garba reports.
The meeting hosted by the Progressives Governors Forum deliberated mainly on the state of the nation, party politics and other matters of national importance. The APC national chairman, who led other executives of the party to the meeting, advised Nigerians to stop commentaries that are inimical to national peace and unity.
We've decided to strengthen the party very effectively. We have decided that the kind of verbiage, the kind of attempt by different groups making incendiary statements are not good for the health of the nation, and they have to stop.
On the health status of President Muhammadu Buhari, the meeting assured Nigerians that he is fast recuperating and will soon return to Nigeria to consolidate on the promised socio-economic development of the country.
And we are glad to inform you that he's recovering in a very robust manner.
The meeting lasted for 2 hours. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Bernunkudu, NTA News.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the federal government will continue to defend the unity of the country and ensure peaceful coexistence among all citizens despite the clamor in some quarters for separation and dissolution of powers from the center. He stated this while delivering a lecture at the 10th Jackson Annual Lecture Series at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. Amaka Howo reports.
Malam Garba Shehu, an alumnus of the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, was the 10th guest lecturer at the Jackson Annual Lecture Series, delivering a lecture titled The New Media, a Threat or Complement to Traditional Media. Malam Shehu stressed that the nation remains an indivisible entity and assured Nigerians of the government's efforts in uniting the country.
Against the backdrop of all of this senseless noise that is coming for the breakup of the country, for eviction of people from where they are. Well, Nigerians themselves know that people who say all of these things don't even understand where they are coming from. They don't understand how intricate, how tied together we are as a people.
An award of excellence was presented to Malam Garba Shehu for his outstanding contributions to the growth of Mass Communications Department in the university. Other participants at the inaugural lecture say the intellectual discourse provides a platform for exchange of ideas. Malam Garba Shehu earlier was on arrival received by the Vice-Chancellor of the university, where he promised to contribute to the construction of a new Jackson building of communication. From the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Amako, NTA News.
A 17-point communique on addressing recurring farmers-herders clashes Kidnapping and other criminalities that are threats to national security has been presented to by the Committee on the 2017 National Security Summit. Chairman of the committee, DIG Hyacinth Degala, and the representative of the Sultan of Sokoto, Honor of Abaji, Alhaji Adamu Baba Yunusa, presented the declaration to the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris. Regional Justice reports.
Deputy Inspector General of Police Dankala, in presenting the declaration, noted that the high levels of criminality have negatively impacted on collective efforts towards national cohesion, food security, and peaceful coexistence. Some of the recommendations are that government should institute measures in addressing marginalization, exclusion, illiteracy, poverty, unemployment, and boosting police capacity.
The government should strengthen collective and collaborative initiatives, especially between security and law enforcement organizations and the civil populace, in curbing the menace of kidnapping, recurring farmers, herders, clashes, and criminalities. The government should curb the easily availability of small arms and light weapons.
Others are measures to check transborder crimes, cross-border movement of animals and persons. The National Security Summit, held in May this year, was organized by the Nigerian Police in collaboration with the National Council of Traditional Rulers and the Leadership Newspaper Group. Regional Justice, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps has launched Operation Cobra in the Federal Capital Territory to checkmate traffic offences such as dangerous driving, overloading, and the use of telephone while driving. Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi, who launched the operation with additional motorbikes, patrol vehicles, and an ambulance, said Operation Cobra will ensure that traffic violators are taken to hospital for emotional and psychological evaluation to determine whether or not they are fit to drive after the driver's license has been withdrawn.
Few lawless drivers who are endangering the lives of other road users to maim or kill the innocent drivers.
The operation, which is to commence on 1st of July in Abuja, is to be replicated in all zonal commands across the country before the end of the month. The Nigerian Television Authority's role in sustaining advocacy programs on the dangers of trafficking in persons is being commended. Basi Ita-Ikpan reports that this was when a delegation of the Women Trafficking and Child Labor Eradication Foundation, Whatclef, led by the Executive Director, Abayomi Rotimi, visited the NTA. The aim was to seek collaboration in the fight against women and child trafficking, a battle the foundation has been on for 18 years now.
Massive fight against trafficking in persons, creating a wonderful advocacy that would really bring to a large extent end to the menace.
Well aware of NTA's statutory role, the Director General, represented by the Executive Director, Administration and Training, assured the organization of NTA's continued enlightenment campaign.
To let the world know that this is a danger that must be nipped.
You're watching NTA Network News. Time now to join Jennifer in Lagos with more reports. It's over to you, Jennifer.
Elizabeth, good evening and welcome to Lagos. Victims of some of the markets and workplaces demolished by the Lagos State government had an opportunity to voice their concerns and sufferings as Abuja policy debates provided them the platform in Lagos. The debate, organized by the Heinrich Hebert Foundation in commemoration of its 40 years in Nigeria, had as its theme, "The Poor Must Live, Demolition of Markets and Workplace in Lagos." Jane Ojuku has the report.
The Abuja Policy Debate Lagos 2017 created a platform for people in the informal sector to air their views, and true to its objective, the audience had a field day as they lamented on live after the demolition of the markets and other structures that have been their source of livelihood.
As a buyer should come and register 25,000 naira, we did so in April Minister of Environment just came inside and said they have sold all sites. They sell us out of the site. Why do they want me to be eating and children to be eating?
Some of the panelists submit that the welfare of the people should be paramount in the planning of programs and policy formulations of the state government.
Once they get to talk to each other, understand each other's viewpoints, that's the starting point for a dialogue.
If the informal people are putting into consideration in policy making, as far as our government is concerned, most definitely it will go a long way to help in reducing the unemployment rate.
They commended the Lagos Megacity initiative, but advised that the process should not be allowed to hurt the informal sector.
As a German consulate, the German government, we are working on a partnership in urbanization matters, and we hope to sign a declaration of intent with the government within the next year.
Discussants want government to understand that as taxpayers, the informal sector wields enormous power which they might not be aware of. In Lagos, Jane Ujuku, NTA News.
That's it from Lagos, but we still have more on the news after these messages. Don't go away.
You want to know the coolest place in town? It's right here on your phone. Welcome to the Glow Cafe. Come on in. It's buzzing in the Zanga. In here, anything is possible. Check out the menu, and here are some of the hot items. Over here, you can buy credit, buy data, share data, borrow voice and data, give data. I'm a whoopee. Give it to him now, be kind. Then there is Glow Music Cafe. More than 2 million Nigerian and Africa land back. Glow has teamed up with the world's largest gaming catalog to bring you the Glow Game Cafe. And that's just a start. Check out the Glow Video Cafe. Countless clips, comedy and sports, direct to your device. And when you thought things couldn't get easier, there's personal account management and Glow customer care right at your fingertips.
You can get everything at Glow.
Simply text BUZZ to 105 to download the Glow Cafe app or go to your app store and search for Glow Cafe, the largest data network. Glow, grandmasters of data.
In Ramadan, every one of us starts our day with an idea in mind. An idea to share our food with the less fortunate. Some people try to hold on to it, but the day has no mercy. This time, don't just think of being a better person. Do it. Make your thoughts happen this Ramadan with Lipton. Ramadan Karim from Lipton.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights.
How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped, we are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime. We bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
You're watching NTA Network News. Persuasion instead of compulsion should be the mode of preaching Islam by Muslims. Chief Imam of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Shehu Garba Mustafa, said this in a sermon at a special Jumaat prayer to mark the Nigerian Army Day. In Abuja, Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji reports.
Admonishing worshippers on the need to promote religious tolerance as a way of ensuring peaceful coexistence, the Imam quoted Surah Al-Baqarah verse 256, which states that there is no compulsion in religion, to underscore Almighty Allah's assurance to the Holy Prophet Muhammad that guidance of man on a path of belief is entirely up to Allah.
So our own is to propagate Islam and to preach and look and show to the people the good and the bad and allow them to choose, but not to be carrying arms to compel them. If somebody doesn't agree with my ideologies, then I will kill that person. It's totally against the religion of Islam.
Special prayers were offered for the Nigerian Army and the nation as Major General Al-Khali Ahmed delivered the message of the Chief of Army Staff.
We ensure that we carry out all assigned tasks to the best of our ability in the defense of Nigeria and the Nigerian people.
Muslims were also enjoined to remain steadfast in nation building. In Abuja, Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji, NTA News.
We now join Zainab in Sokoto for more. It's over to you, Zainab.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and welcome. Teachers in Sokoto State without requisite teaching qualifications in all institutions of learning and are unwilling to acquire such will be shown the way out. Sheikh Muhammad Detti reports that Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar III stated this at the 15th annual general meeting of Sokoto State Indigents held at the palace in Sokoto. The report.
The annual meeting is a forum that brings together Sokoto State indigents from within and outside the state. The aim is to strengthen brotherhood among indigents as well as discuss vital issues bothering the state, especially in the area of education. The meeting is organized by the State Education Development Trust Fund under the leadership of Chairman Board of Trustees of the fund and former President Shehu Usman Aliu Shagari. In his address at the meeting, read by Alhaji Idris Koko, the chairman said, in line with the mandate of the fund, it has done a lot in the area of giving support to the education sector. Sultan Muhammad Saad Abubakar, who appreciated the effort of the fund, urged it to do more. He described the activities of Sokoto Education Development Trust Fund as vital, calling on it to come out with more programs that are geared towards helping Sokoto indigents, especially the needy and poor. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol has inaugurated a 27-member consultative committee under the leadership of Sultan Muhammad Saad. The committee has permanent secretary, Ministry of Science and Technology Bello Idris as secretary, with some commissioners, district heads, and other stakeholders in the education sector that include NUT, USAID, UNICEF, as well as religious clerics as members. The committee has, among other terms of reference, responsibility of ensuring enrollment and retention of children in schools up to higher education, safeguarding parents, as well as combining Western and Islamic education. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Elizabeth.
Thank you, Zainab. Nigeria's medical emergency response system has received a boost with the donation of 31 well-equipped ambulances by the government of Japan to the nation's health sector. 14 of the vehicles will go to 14 hospitals, another 14 to federal medical centers, while 3 national orthopedic hospitals will have 3 vehicles. Minister of Health, Dr. Isaac Adewale, who took a ride in one of the ambulances before handing over to the benefiting hospitals, said the gesture will enhance the ministry's robust policy in medical emergency services and help save more lives from accidents. The Japanese government promised to train handlers of the vehicles, which are fitted with life-saving gadgets and spare part components. Let's now join Diba Barry in Port Harcourt for more reports. Over to you now.
Good evening, Elizabeth, and welcome to Port Harcourt. About 18 people from Etampinge community in Odupani local government area of Cross River State narrowly escaped death when a temporary bridge in the area collapsed as a result of flooding. Correspondent Budi Yakban, who visited the area, reports that the devastating effect of the flooding has separated the entire community from other neighboring towns.
Flooding, which is a common natural disaster in many rainforest belts, visited the Tankbuni community, pulling down the only temporary bridge linking the community with the outside world. Although no life was lost when the incident took place, members of the community are completely cut off and denied access to other neighboring towns.
The communities here are predominantly farmers and fishermen, and the only source of evacuation of their farm produce is this road. And now that the road has collapsed, there is no other source of evacuation of the farm produce from the hinterland here to the urban centers.
It has a very serious impact that cannot allow any of our people to pass through here. And it's very dangerous for one to pass under that bridge. One can fall into the water there.
The Tankbuni community is endowed with natural mineral resources such as granite, limestone, and other tourist sites that could be harnessed for economic development of the state and the nation. In Calabar, Budi Akpan, NTA News.
And as our bid from Port Harcourt is over now to Elizabeth for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Dibabari. Another break beckons. When we return, our correspondent in Addis Ababa will come live on African Union Summit. Stay with us.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC as an agency is indeed doing so much to protect the health of our nation. I urge everyone to support NAFDAC in ridding the country of fake drugs and unwholesome products.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
My name is Hadi.
The African Union has asked Nigeria to champion the theme for the next African Union Summit, which will center on fighting corruption on the continent. Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyama disclosed this shortly after the AU Executive Council met in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Correspondent Makut Simon Macham reports.
The Executive Council, comprising of Ministers of Foreign Affairs, met to prepare the draft agenda and other decisions expected to be discussed by the heads of states when they meet. Top among the issues discussed include the reform of the African Union, particularly as regards its funding and structure, the plight of refugees and displaced persons, strengthening disease prevention and other health issues on the continent, promoting peace and security, as well as tackling terrorism, among others.
They decided to make Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari, the champion for this issue. And this is because of his, pedigree and his unimpeachable.
And joining us now in Addis Ababa is our correspondent, Makut Simon Macham. The theme for the summit is harnessing the demographic dividend through youths. Now, Makut, give us an insight on Nigeria's submission on the issue during the summit, please.
Elizabeth, thank you very much. Apart from the issue of harnessing the potential of the African Union, the issue of terrorism, peace and security was also discussed at the ministerial level. Now, Nigeria is passionate about this, being one of the countries that has been fighting terrorism, the Boko Haram insurgency and so on. So the country believes that Africa can come together and fight terrorism before looking for help from elsewhere. So much also has been discussed about the reform of the African Union, and Nigeria is very excited that that is on the front burner also.
Thank you very much, Margaret. And it's on that note we draw the curtains on NTA Network News for tonight. We thank you for watching. From all of us here, it's good night.